Well, we'll just chalk this one up to another Joe Biden lie. After years of him, his administration, and the media, which is like the third wing of the Democrat Party, it's all saying that that Joe Biden would not pardon Hunter.
Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
From a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
I'm not going to do anything. I said I'd abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
But on a Sunday, on Thanksgiving weekend, while an expected 80 million Americans are traveling, he did it anyway. He pardoned his son of 191 sex crimes, 128 drug crimes, and 140 business crimes. That's just what was documented on the 640-page report of the Hunter Biden laptop. But we were called conspiracy theorists if we suggested that Joe Biden was going to pardon his son. Remember? I guess we're right again. I'm not the least bit surprised, but I told you guys this was going to happen, and you are not wasting your time here. And the second Trump nominated Kash Patel, I was like, yep, it's happening real soon. Chalk another one up to lying Joe Biden. I mean, look, this is the same guy that said he wouldn't give F-16s to Ukraine. That lasted like, 8 months? Then he said he was top of his class in law school. That was wrong, too. Said he never discussed his son's business dealings. Another lie, apparently, because that is what I suspect this entire pardon is all about. Hey, isn't it super interesting that he didn't just pardon him for the gun charge or the tax violations or the alleged sex crimes, but he pardoned him for, quote, a full unconditional pardon for any offenses Hunter Biden has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the time period of January 1, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. May have committed? Look, I was born at night, but not last night. This is about Burisma. This is about pardoning Hunter Biden for family influence campaign in China, Ukraine, everywhere else that Hunter galloped around picking up bags of cash for absolutely no product. This is a blanket pardon for what Congress and honestly most of America has suspected for the last decade. This pardon removes Hunter Biden from the equation. He can't be threatened. He can't be flipped. There's nothing federal investigators can do to use any activity of Hunter Biden from 2014 on in a criminal probe against him now. Joe Biden may have pardoned his co-conspirator, honestly. Joe Biden, however, he set the precedent that he can and will go after whoever else you want. This pardon does not cover Joe Biden. It doesn't cover Jill Biden, doesn't cover James Biden or his wife or anyone else in that family that may have done any of these things and, according to Jim Comer, received payments.
Hunter Biden wired $150,000 to Lion Hall Group, a company owned by James and Sarah Biden. Sarah Biden then withdrew $50,000 in cash from Lion Hall Group. Later the same day, she deposited it into her and James Biden's personal checking account. A few days later, Sarah Biden cut a check to Joe Biden for $40,000. The memo line of the check said loan repayment.
But the even bigger question is, why wouldn't he have waited until January 19th? Why the sudden rush to pardon him now? That's what's really getting me. Hunter's court appearances are coming up for the tax charge and the gun charge, but those are still a few weeks away, so why now? This is what happens, folks, when politicians and their families take foreign donations and positions in international stock and board seats in companies overseas like Burisma. Remember when the left lost their mind about Trump owning hotels and real estate in other countries because they were worried about potential foreign influence? Even he owned them long before he was ever president or ever ran. When any foreign dignitary stayed at the Trump Hotel in D.C., they freaked out, even though 100% of those profits were given right back to the Treasury. There are 112 subpoenas issued to Eric Trump alone, many relating to wild foreign influencing fishing escapades that not one ever resulted in anything ever. But now we're supposed to look the other way, throw up our hands like, man, Hunter got pardoned for a bunch of stuff that we don't even know anything about yet. And we're supposed to let it go? Are you kidding me? No. The mere fact that Hunter was pardoned for this broadly sweeping thing is more reason for suspicion. Now, can this be challenged? Well, there is legal precedent for the broad powers of pardon. Ex parte Garland, that case in 1866, said the presidential pardon, quote, extends to every offense known to the law and can be exercised at any time after its commission. But the preemptive pardons have never been challenged, but they have been questioned. And the closest thing we've ever seen is when Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon for any offenses he might have committed. But he was a former president. So I would welcome a challenge to Hunter being pardoned for crimes that we might not even know he committed. I would also argue that post-office, Joe Biden should be pressured on why he pardoned his son for a time period in which there were no charged crimes for. And if I were Biden or his wife Jill or brother Jim wants to hide behind executive privilege in this investigation, well, they sent Navarro and Bannon to jail for that. For the last 4 years, we've watched the left use the Justice Department, any local prosecutor they can find, to charge Trump with whatever, no matter how crazy the allegations. Ironically, most are getting dropped and some are getting thrown out or about to. So the legal precedent is set. Just start throwing spaghetti at the wall. And if it doesn't stick, oh well. I expect Pam Bondi and obviously Kash Patel, too, at the FBI to do that. That's the mandate from America. Now the equally important part of this next 4 years is the PR game. During the course of all these investigations, the left said no one is above the law.
The idea that no person is above the law is a bedrock principle of American justice.
No man is above the law, no matter what the crime.
And I agree with you. No man is above the law, and no person is above the law.
No man is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No man is above the law.
He has to be held accountable. He's not above the law.
But clearly their party believes Hunter is. He got up and walked out of Congress. He defied a congressional subpoena, a gun charge that, ironically enough, 96.9% of people who are alleged to have committed get convicted for, with the average sentence of 60 months in jail. Hundreds of thousands of dollars on hookers, speeding, that's on the Hunter Biden laptop, drug addiction, tax evasion, that's just some of them. But now that he's off the hook, I don't want to hear a freaking word about when Trump pardons every single one of the political prisoners and victims of the sham January 6th committee investigation. And I want them to go after Liz Cheney and everyone else who participated in it, because that's his right, Whoopi?
He's the president, the sitting president, and he can do whatever he wants to until his time is up.
I don't like that
president.
Donald Trump's about to be president.
Well, that's what the
presidency should be bigger than his feelings.
You know,
and even his immediate
it should
family.
be, but it is.
No, shut up, everyone. What's funny is that they tried to point out to Whoopi in that clip that Trump was about to be president, and she said it anyway. So I guess that's what we're doing now. The new norm is use the Justice Department to go after anyone who might be a political opponent, sometimes to just find out if they did anything wrong, and pardon anyone you want for anything they may or may not have committed, whether you know what they did or not. These are the new rules. Democrats wrote them. Now we're going to live by them. And Republicans, you better get this through your head. And this is happening, okay? And they better get on board with this. No waffles. This is the only way to get us back to the historical norms, Robert's Rules of Order, or whatever, for the last 250 years, is to make the other side live by the standard they are setting during Biden's presidency. Because they aren't going to like it. Because they are actually doing most of the things that they're accusing Republicans of.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.